How's it going, guys? This is the Brick Wall, and today I want to talk to you about Mira, the new defender in Operation Velvet Shell. Mira's loadout consists of the Vector 45 ACP, the ITA-12L shotgun. For secondary, she has the USP-40 and the ITA-12S shotgun, a deployable shield, and a nitro. Starting right off with the Vector, her Vector fires about 1200 RPM, and so it's basically a hose. Like it's a hose of bullets, you know. It's got decent stability, good, well, not great damage, but decent damage, good enough to compensate for the fact that it has 1200 RPM. And so what it comes down to is that it's probably the preferred pick on Mira because of its insane fire rate. It's kind of the reason why people pick Twitch, at least originally, is because of her just insane gun. ITA-12L, if you really like shotguns, it's a pump-action shotgun. It's got, you know, decent range, decent destructibility, but it doesn't do anything to distinguish itself from other pump-action shotguns in my mind. It performs about the same as just about any other pump-action shotgun in the game. Her USP-40 pistol is a pretty solid pistol. I mean, it is a pistol, so it's not going to be like, you know, god-tier weapon, but it is a solid pistol. It's got decent damage, 12-round magazine, 13 with the extra round, and I like the iron sights on it personally, but that's more of a personal preference thing. It's a solid pistol, but it's not going to be replacing your primary anytime soon. Her ITA-12S shotgun is something I was afraid was going to be replacing your primary. As it would turn out, this thing is not going to be replacing your primary anytime soon because it doesn't have very good range, which is pretty consistent with the fact that it is a secondary, not a primary, and it also doesn't destroy things very well. Like, it's the size of it, the holes that it makes are about the size of Jaeger's Magpie. So it could be useful to poke a hole in it and then just spray through it with your bullet hose of a primary, but it's not going to be by itself a good secondary turn primary type weapon. And of course she has a nitro cell, so I mean, you know, that immediately makes her good at this game. She's also, as a side note, she's also a 1-speed 3 armor, so she's meant to be more of a turtle shelling defender, someone who stays on the objective and defends. Which brings me to her gadget. Her gadget is called the Black Mirror. It's basically a one-way mirror that you can place on reinforced and unreinforced surfaces, and even kind of like halfway between them if you should so desire. And it allows you, from your side, to see through, but people coming from the other side cannot. And so the idea behind this is that you should be able to gather intel about your enemy by looking through these mirrors, but they can't get as much intel about you because you are shielded by kind of this black surface. Now, it has a small feature that allows it to be either meleeed or shot open from the side that you can see through. There's this little like red canister on the bottom that you can shoot and or melee. And what that does is after a couple seconds of delay, it'll just like pop the mirror out and you can shoot through that now. So it goes from being a one-way mirror to a kill hole kind of. And so in theory, this should be really, really good. And you know, full credit goes to people who are better than me, such as like Punjistick. If you guys watch him live stream, he's very good at using these things where he'll either put it on a reinforced wall and leave the wall next to him unreinforced so he can just kind of like watch the person and then dip over the unreinforced side and wall bang him. Or he'll put it, if he's really ballsy, he'll put it on an unreinforced wall and then he'll wait for someone to get into his line of sight and just duck and shoot underneath it through the wall. But for my purposes and the clips that I have not been that successful using these things. As a matter of fact, most of the time they end up screwing over the team that they play, that the Mira is playing for. So, a prime example was on Consulate. I was playing Consulate. I put a mirror on the garage door in Consulate, because that seems to make sense. It'll allow you to, like, you know, bandit trick so they can't open up that garage door, right? Because that is the entire point of defending that objective is, like, do not let them open up the garage door. And so I did that, and I was using it to kind of watch the enemy. And I had a Jaeger on my team, and Jaeger decided he was going to be ballsy and break the mirror and try to shoot out. So he breaks the mirror. He wastes his entire clip into the mirror because, like I said, there's about a 2-second delay or so. While he's reloading, mirror falls, and he gets capped right in the forehead. So now we have a dead teammate, and there's a hole in the garage, which, as I just said, is kind of the entire point of defending that objective, is do not let there be a hole in that garage. So now I'm stuck there trying to cover the angle into the garage, but also the angle from the stairs on Consulate, which is where I ended up getting killed from in that clip because I had to watch too many angles at once. Similar things have happened on other maps. So the idea behind it is that I don't like Mira personally because I feel like she's too easy to counter. She can be countered by Twitch, she can be countered by Hibana, she can be countered by Thermite, she can be countered by basically any enemy player who knows how to flank and shoot. And so I feel like using Mira allows the enemy to put holes in things that you normally would not want to have holes in. That being said, though, if used appropriately on a team with good communication and people who are competent and aren't going to break it when it should not be broken, I think that Mira can be used very effectively. I think it's going to shake up the Pro League quite a bit because I feel like bandit tricking is going to be a thing, and now it's very much so going to be a thing like the defending team is going to try and destroy the Twitch drones so that Twitch can't break these mirrors. But if Twitch does break the mirrors, now the attacking team is on the advantage because they have an angle into the objective usually, or an angle into some room that they want to have. And so, like, basically there's a skill spread there. On the higher end, people are going to be able to use her quite well, but she's also going to get countered really hard. On the lower end, I'm just going to stick to Rook, personally. I like Rook better as another 3 armor. You know, he's much less situational and much less counterable. But anyway, those are my thoughts on Mira. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.